Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Gurhan. I am with Cosmo Publishing, as you already know, and I am here with a finance person, actually. However, he wrote some different books. His name is Metin Ar, and he is from Turkey. He is at the moment in Istanbul and joining me. Uh, Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on.
Awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. How's the weather in Istanbul? Cool.
Well, it's okay. It was sunny today, so it's a surviving day compared to the rainy days last week.
Okay, awesome. I am sure everything is delicious over there, which the meaning delicious we're going to get to because that is what you write about. Now, I would like you to introduce yourself. Please introduce yourself.
Okay, my name is Metin Ar. I am an investment banker for nearly 50 years now. I'm 72 years of age, and this is what I do for a living. But I also, due to my travels, due to investment banking, all of my life, I enjoyed good food wherever I went, all over the world. And in fact, I ran as the executive chairman a restaurant company which consisted of nearly 140 restaurants all around the world, but most of them were in Turkey, and most of those were in Istanbul. But the reason I was the executive chairman, it was not because I liked food, but because I'm an M&A banker. So to put these 140 restaurants together, I did 16 M&A transactions, buying anywhere between 51% to 80% of different companies owning restaurants, from almost street food to Michelin star restaurants all over the world, including the most famous ones were Zuma and Roca, which is a Japanese Peruvian concept in competition with the chain Nobu, created by Matsuhisa Nobu. Anyhow, so this was professionally done for 2 years, but roughly about 15 years ago, a magazine published in Turkey asked me to write about restaurants all around the world, and the magazine was published 4 times a year, quarterly. So I said, okay, I'll do that. And we started with Alba, which is one of my favorite places to go in Italy, especially in October, November period, where the white truffles are in abundance. So I wrote about Alba, 5 or 6 pages within the magazine, and we've used some colorful photographs of the Alba city and some of the restaurants there, and me hunting for white truffles with a dog, etc. So that was the first write-up. And since then, since 15 years, every 3 months I'm writing about another city around the world, including Istanbul as well. So some time ago, I was living in San Francisco, and this was in 1990, in 2018, 19, and a friend of mine suggested that I can publish this book in English using Amazon. And Amazon apparently used your good company,
Yes.
to publish this. So I got in touch with your good company and Amazon indirectly, and I got all my write-ups or chapters, let's say, on different cities in Turkish. I got them translated by a friend who is who was a friend of my daughter, and she was proud of her English and obviously of her Turkish because she was Turkish.
Uh-huh.
So she did the translation for me. It's not that I couldn't do the translation, but I had little time, so she did it and I edited it because there was some jargon about the restaurant world which she may have misinterpreted, translating from Turkish to English.
Mm-hmm.
Then after she's done that, I found a Canadian journalist who was married to a Turkish lady, and apparently he spoke very good Turkish as well. I asked him to edit what was translated and what was edited by me, so he edited, and then it became real good native tongue English. And that was published by Cosmo and Amazon in 2019 as the first edition of the book. Then in 2021, I republished it by updates with new chapters, and some of the restaurants sort of deleted, but a larger edition in total, using a company which is in relationship with you in Turkey. And this second time, the spoken English was also, in addition to all the countries, I think 16 countries all around the world, was also published again in English in the Turkish Amazon as well. So you could pay by paying Turkish liras the book to get the book.
Yes.
As you know, the books are not pre-printed and kept in stock, but they are printed as somebody orders all around the world, whether it be in Tokyo, Brazil, New York, or Istanbul. Doesn't matter, as long as there's
print on demand.
there. Yeah, they're on-demand printers in association with you and Amazon, and you can get the book almost next day anywhere.
Yeah.
Anyhow, so this is the only book that I have written. Now it's 2019, 21, and 23 editions already printed and being sold. I keep the price. Amazon asks me what the price should be. I keep the price to the bare minimum, whatever the minimum is allowed, so that higher numbers are sold, because I'm not interested in making a living out of it. And it's also gives me great pleasure when I meet somebody in France or in Australia or in Japan, and I say, okay, I'm going to send you a gift, my book, and next day they receive it at their homes with fast Amazon delivery. So this is how it started, from the magazine into translation into English and into the books in 3 editions now.
Yes.
So I'm in the process of writing or revising the 2025 edition, which will be available from January onwards next year.
Next year, yes. So I'm gonna ask you a question. You said at the beginning of the conversation, you purchased, well, you helped purchasing 140 restaurants, and you said most of them are in Istanbul.
Yeah.
So I just wanna get this notion in the heads of people, how big the Istanbul is actually. And here in America, when you talk about big cities, people automatically just say New York. Actually, comparing to Istanbul, New York is about this big. Well,
How many people live in New York?
I have no idea, but I couldn't tell you. I have no idea. But New York is little, and everybody just immediately thinks of New York. And when you say, "Hey, have you been to Delhi or Istanbul or Hong Kong?" You know, these are huge, huge cities. You know, New York is about this big. So 140, how many of those restaurants were in Istanbul? Approximately.
About 90 of them, 90,
Yes.
90, were in
Yeah.
Istanbul. But Istanbul is a big city,
Yes.
and the population at the moment is around 16 million, which is quite a lot, but less than London and Paris,
Yeah.
and some cities in India, obviously. But
Yes.
still 16 million scattered over two continents, because Istanbul is divided into half by
Yes.
the water strait called the Bosphorus,
Uh-huh.
and one side is Asia and the other side is Europe.
Yes.
So you can virtually cross over three bridges and two tunnels, the continents, if you want, every 10 minutes. So you can be every 10 minutes in Asia and Europe and come back again, paying for the tolls, obviously.
Of course. Yeah.
So about 90 of the restaurants were in Istanbul, and yeah, some of them were about, I think, 15 outside Istanbul in Turkey, and the rest were all around the world.
Yes. But again, imagining 90 restaurants in New York, uh, you would have to have like restaurant every single block, and that's not possible. But in Istanbul, it would be possible. So that's what I was trying to get to. Istanbul is huge. You can actually have 90 restaurants in Istanbul. If you're lucky, if you got 15 restaurants in New York, you know, New York is about this big. That's what I was
Yeah.
trying to get to.
Well, still, yeah. I have about, in my Istanbul chapter, about 15 restaurants
Uh-huh.
selected, and I think of this 15, maybe 5 is amongst the 90 that I have acquired, and 10 is not one of them.
Uh-huh.
I think the selection is rather independent. So I chose 5, maybe 4, maybe 5. I don't recall at the moment from what I have bought, but choosing what I buy. Then this was 10 years ago, by the way, the
Uh-huh.
acquisition, and the books are recent. Choosing what I buy, I obviously tended to focus into what I liked even
Yes.
then.
Yes, that's what
So
I was going to get to, actually.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Tell
So
me.
I was looking at your blog, and I just caught that you've been to Portland. And what I was going to ask you, I am sure, well, you just said you used to live in San Francisco. Any other
Yeah.
places in America you lived?
No, I spent more time, not as much as San Francisco, but more time in New York, because my daughter studied in New York
Uh,
college. And
mhm.
so 4 years I was shuttling back and forth.
Back and forth.
Yeah, and the reason I spent slightly more than 2 years in San Francisco again was my daughter, because after graduation from the college, she joined the famous company Google in
Uh-huh.
Palo Alto, San Francisco, and she moved there, and I moved there too. And San
Those
Francisco being,
daughters, I'm telling you, they make you
yeah,
do things.
yeah, and now she came to work for Google in Turkey
Uh-huh.
during the pandemic, and now she left Google to have her own startup in Turkey, and now we're living in the same block of apartments.
Uh-huh.
So I'm more glued to Istanbul now. Yeah, visiting the
Yes.
U.S. occasionally. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So, question is, when you were in America, give us some spots, some eating spots, nice restaurants in America. Can you think of these things?
Well, my favorite. I'll give you a few of my favorite.
Uh-huh.
Uh, First of all, I don't know your hometown, so I cannot tell you or give you anything about that area, but I'm more knowledgeable about San Francisco and
Mhm.
New York, as I've spent more time there. In San Francisco, my favorite place is in Berkeley, Chez Panisse. Chez Panisse is a more than, I don't know, 60, 70-year-old restaurant.
Mhm.
And it's in a small building in Berkeley. And it's in 2 floors. Upper floor is the more like casual dining. And the lower floor is fine dining. It doesn't have any Michelin stars or anything. But it's owned and operated by a lady, Alice Waters, and especially upstairs, which is cheaper, but more comfort food, I love. And whenever I go to San Francisco, that's the first restaurant that I go to. So that's
What kind of our food?
international food.
International food.
International food. Well, based on fresh, organic
Uh-huh.
raw materials, vegetables, fish, nothing frozen.
Uh-huh.
And they have an open wood fire in the middle of the restaurant. And when you enter it, with the smells you're feeling, you're bound to eat all of the restaurant, so all of the menu. So
Uh-huh.
it's my favorite place, especially upstairs.
Okay.
So that's in San Francisco.
What about New York?
In New York, I have 2 favorites.
Mhm.
One is a normal restaurant that's in central New York,
Mhm.
and this used to be in a different place, in a narrow street with a very squeezed. It used to be a very squeezed restaurant. It was virtually on Union Square, so it was called Union Square Cafe. Then this place closed down just before pandemic because they had to move out. I mean, the landlord didn't want them there anymore, and he was going to use it for something else. So they went out, and just before pandemic, they acquired a new place, which was in contrast to the low ceilings, very high ceilings, in contrast to be a very dark restaurant, very full of light restaurant, which is a corner restaurant. And it was not on Union Square anymore, but slightly away. I mean, maybe 5 minutes walking.
Mhm.
But it still is called Union Square Cafe.
Uh-huh.
The beauty of it, you can go there anytime between 11 a.m. and 11 p.m. Anytime you can have food. Maybe let's say from 3 to 6 or 3 to 5:30, the menu might be limited. But other than that, even if you don't have a reservation, you can easily go there and try to find a place at the bar. And at the bar, they serve almost the same food as well. So Union Square Cafe is my
Your favorite.
favorite. The second favorite is a three-star Michelin one, which is Le Bernardin, which is a seafood restaurant,
Mhm.
and it's a very French-oriented seafood restaurant. What I like about it is not the restaurant itself. The restaurant is magnificent. That's okay, but you have to make a reservation and be prepared to wait for the reservation for at least, or make the reservation at least a month before
Whoa.
lunch or dinner. But this restaurant has a bar, and at the bar you can eat 50% of the food which is on the menu.
Mhm.
And at the bar you cannot make a reservation; you just walk in. So if you just walk in for lunch around about 11:30 to midday, you're bound to get a seat. And also, it's very high ceilings there, and it's got very lighted environment, and you can get your drinks and your food at the bar without having the stress of making a reservation and trying to keep it a month before.
Nice. You said that
Uh,
this
so
was a French
yeah.
restaurant, right?
Tell me again.
This was a French restaurant.
It's a French restaurant. Yeah, it's owned by. Yeah, it was first opened by a husband and wife,
Uh-huh.
and the husband was cooking, and the wife was in charge of the front part of the restaurant. Unfortunately, the husband, they were French. The husband passed away
Uh-huh.
quite early, and she has promoted the second sous chef, whose name is Eric Ripat, and he became the executive chef, and they kept the 3 stars since, I don't know, 15, 20 years. And so going to the bar, so if you want to go to the bar in the evening, try to go there like around about 5:30, because if you go at around 7:30, it might be full and you might not be able to get a place. But around 5:30 for an early lunch, which is a suitable time for New York, I mean, to have lunch. If you go for dinner, if you go for dinner in Istanbul 5:30, they will serve you tea and maybe some bagels. That's all. For food, you should go around about 8 p.m. And also 11:30, you can if you go to a restaurant, again you will have tea and breakfast and some feta cheese and some simit with it. Lunch starts later. However, in New York is not that way. So
Yes.
those are the two places. Yeah.
Okay, so those are in America.
In America.
Okay, let's go around the world. I need you to tell me two more places, not in America, not in Turkey, around the world of your favorites.
Okay, in the book, as you know, there is a section in the front, in the first page, in the first chapter, saying my favorite 15 restaurants all around the world. The book covers more than 200 restaurants. So my first 15 includes this Union Square Cafe and Le Bernardin, obviously, and a few others from the States. But from Europe, my favorite is unfortunately a 3-star Michelin restaurant, which can cater for only 40 people, 40, and it's in Alba. It's called Duomo di Alba, and you have to go there by reservation. There's no sign of the restaurant. It's in the upper floor of a building, and you have to ring the bell, and they answer. And if you give the correct reservation name, they let you in. So this is a very classical Italian cooking restaurant, which is especially nice in October and November, where they have the white truffle in season. So this is one place that I am really enjoying. And in Vienna, there's another 3-star Michelin, unfortunately. I mean, those Michelin stars are not just given away for no purpose. They have some purpose. And this restaurant in Vienna, I like, is the name is Steirereck. And Steirereck has been 3 stars for, I don't know, 15, 20 years. And it's owned and operated by a couple. It's big for 40, 50 people maximum. They operate lunch and dinner. However, they shut down Saturday and Sunday. So Saturday and the Sunday, the peak time for normal tourist travel and restaurant demand. But they take their time off and go to their families Saturday and Sunday. So Monday to Friday, you can eat there, lunch or dinner, with good reservations, obviously. And the husband cooks and the wife is in charge of the service. And it's got beautiful tables, tablecloths, beautiful cutlery, beautiful glassware, and they have most extraordinary 3 trolleys. The first trolley comes a full trolley, I mean 4-level trolley with, I don't know, 50 different kinds of bread, all fresh from the ovens, and show you the first trolley is the bread. The second trolley is towards the end of the meal, is the cheese trolley. It's a different trolley, but the same size with, I don't know, nearly 100 kinds of cheese from all around the world, and you can have your combination. And the last one is the dessert trolley, again as big, again so many kinds, but you have to choose your dessert not from the menu, but from the trolley. So if they had the menu of trolleys only, I could go there, just have the bread, cheese, and sweet, and that's enough. And also have an extraordinary, extensive, beautiful wine list, which is, I mean, Austria is not the place for wine. I mean, it's not France, it's not Italy, it's not Napa Valley, but they've got a tremendously nice wine list from all over the world. So bread, cheese, wine list to end up with a sweet wine and a dessert would be ideal there. But of course, you cannot do that because they have a very nice menu.
Yes.
The nice thing about it, about this restaurant and Union Square Cafe and Le Bernardin and also Alba, the Alba, they don't, although they are 3 or 4 of those restaurants are 3-star Michelin, and Union Square Cafe just mentioned on the Michelin guide, but not without any stars. Most of the 3-star Michelin restaurants all around the world enforce you or push you to eat a set menu. They can make some changes and say if you don't want to eat meat, they can substitute a fish for it, etc., or vice versa. But you cannot choose what is called from the menu or a la carte. But all these restaurants, those 3, you can have the set menu, you can have a la carte, you can have just one course. You're not forced into having 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or whatever courses. So you choose what you eat, and in set menus, you usually get very small 2 or 3 bite sizes on the plate. Huge big plate with just one spoonful of something on the plate or one forkful of. And by the time you understand what you're eating, the food is finished. But sometimes you want to eat. Okay, we order a starter. We need a good plate to enjoy the starter or to share the starter with your companion. And then you can order a second starter or a main course, which is of reasonable size, like we are eating at home. I mean, we don't eat at home the small
little
bite-sized
pieces,
things.
yes.
Yeah. So those 3 restaurants, including Steyrerek, is classical in that sense.
Okay, so we covered America. We covered, let's say, throughout the world. Let's come to Istanbul to start with, and then Turkey. Among all the Turkey. Istanbul, your favorite place?
My favorite place in Istanbul is Mikla.
Mikla sounds Greek.
No, it's Mikla. Mikla is Mikla, Mikla, is a word from Finnish language, apparently. And the founder chef was half Finnish. So he used this word, and it's the most famous restaurant in Istanbul in terms of fine dining. It used to be one of the top 50 restaurants, best 50 restaurants all around the world. It went up to number 41. Now it's not in that list. It's got 1-star Michelin, together with a few other 1-star Michelin restaurants in Istanbul, since Michelin started reviewing Istanbul about 2 years ago. It's got a great view, great service, and great food. It's got a set menu as well, but it has a very flexible second set menu, which is almost like a la carte.
Pick and
And
choose.
also, yeah, so you can choose. You can choose one of the 6 starters. You can choose one of the 6 main courses, and you can choose one of the 6 desserts. So if you're a table of 6, and also in set menus, when you're a table of 6, they force you to eat everybody the same thing. But you may want to. So in this manner, you can choose whatever you want to eat, and they have a great wine menu. Okay, and do you know where the word waiter comes from?
No?
The waiter word comes from England, and they call the people waiting upon you by the table waiters. So they wait to take your orders, and if you need anything during the dinner, you just look up, see the waiter is waiting there. Otherwise, if he's not waiting there, he's not called a waiter, he's called a runner. And most of the restaurants all around the world, including more than 80% that I have in my book, they don't have waiters. They have people running around you, and you need to attract their attention. Sometimes you shout, you got to catch them. Sometimes you applaud. Sometimes I get up and shout to get the attention. But the waiter system you have in Mikla. So in Mikla, at a distance, maybe a few yards away, you have your waiter looking into you just in case you need something, whether it be water, salt, or something else.
Oh.
There is a 2-star Michelin restaurant, which is also in my book, which also I like. Turk, Turk is the name. It's the only 2-star Michelin restaurant in Istanbul. I like it there, but the waiting system is terrible. One day, I was entertaining some guests, including my family, and I know the chef, I know the property owner, I know everybody, I know the waiter, I know the maitre and I was thirsty to have some water, and I couldn't attract the attention of anybody who were running around because there were not enough numbers, and I couldn't get water. So at the end of the day, I stood up and started applauding. And everybody stopped. Everybody was looking at me. I said, I need water, please. So that was a 2-star Michelin restaurant. Yes. So in the 2025 edition, I will put my own stars for about, let's say, 20 of the 200 restaurants in the book. And that star will mean they have waiters.
Okay, yes. At least you pick up your head and somebody's waiting, right? Yes. Okay, so we covered Istanbul. What about Turkey?
In Turkey, there is a place in
Urfa or Adana or anywhere.
Yeah, there is a place in Bodrum. I like, which is not a restaurant, but it's a cafe. But it's a cafe, it's a library. It's got jazz concerts over the weekends in the open air for about 300 people, or maybe 400 people. And it's got 3 small restaurants. The food is average. I mean, one restaurant is sort of Japanese or Japanese fusion. Another one is international food. Another one is more like a cafe with salads and patisseries. And it's open from, let's say, 9 a.m. until midnight, except Mondays. And if you're under 15, you're not allowed to go in. So if you want to go there as a family, your son or daughter should be more than 15.
Yeah.
And it's a very tranquil environment. Architecturally, it's very interesting. and it's full of olive trees. And the name is Zai, and Zai is apparently olive
Oh.
I think in one language, maybe Greek
Mhm.
Or Latino. And then this place is owned and operated by an architect lady who has designed everything from scratch, from the buildings, from the tables, from the she's chosen architecture, she's chosen sculptures from the Turkish, most famous Turkish sculptures,
Mhm.
and it's a very nice place. So it's for food, it's average, but
How about waiters? Do they have waiters? Waiters? Waiters.
so
You know, do they have
no,
waiters?
no, no, no. No, they
No.
don't. They don't deserve a star. The waiters
Oh.
are terrible there too. Yeah, but I enjoy going there. I mean, so in spite of the waiterlessness
Uh-huh.
in spite of the food being average, the architecture, the music level. Another
Uh-huh.
problem in the restaurants is with the music level. Sometimes they make the music so high that you cannot talk.
Yes. Mhm.
And also the quality of the kind of the music in the restaurants is very important.
Yes.
This Mikla in Istanbul is wonderful with that, and also Zai.
So
Another place.
I got a question. So when you're gonna give your stars, you're gonna consider music, the ambiance, and
No,
everything.
only waiters. Only
Only,
waiters.
only waiters.
Only
Okay.
waiters. Okay,
Okay.
because this is what is when you have good waiters or the good waiting system in a restaurant, everything else is fine. I mean, the restaurant owner or manager, if he pays attention to waiters, if he
Uh-huh.
employs enough high quality waiters, then
And
the rest
it's
comes easy. The rest
quality.
comes easy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another restaurant I like in Turkey is in Çeşme,
Uh-huh.
which is near Izmir.
Yep.
It's called Horasan. It's a seafood restaurant. Çeşme is a seaside resort or
Mhm.
seaside town, but this Horasan is not by the seaside. It's just in the middle of the city. It's owned and operated by a couple again.
Uh-huh.
The husband cooks and the wife serves. It's very much similar to Steyrerek,
Uh-huh.
but they close the restaurant every January, the 2nd of January. They close it down and they open it up 1st of February. All January, they travel to some part of the world, taking their son as well,
Uh-huh.
and eat and eat and eat and eat, and
Oh,
they
wow.
get inspired from what they see, and you see the effects of the inspirations in the menu.
Nice.
So this is also a place that I like a lot. The waiting system is again terrible, but I mean you get used to it. I mean when you come across a good waiting system in Mikla,
Uh-huh.
you have to appreciate it and pay for it as well, and mention it that you understand what they are doing for you. So this is unusual. So you have to live with it anywhere in the world. I mean, I'm not.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, anywhere in the world.
So
Yeah.
I practically grew up in Çeşme.
Ah, you did. Ah,
Yes.
good. Okay. So
Yes.
this is practically in
Çeşme.
Çeşme town
In
itself.
Çeşme.
Or,
Yes.
yeah, in Çeşme
Yeah.
town. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not in Alaçatı, not in
Yeah.
Ilıca,
Or
not by the coast.
Dalyanköy.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
It's virtually in Çeşme. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, these are all questions I have. I mean, this is an interesting author interview. We
Yeah.
usually talk
Very good.
about sci-fis and the characters, and that's what we usually talk about. This is very interesting. Awesome.
Yeah.
So your next book, 2025,
Yes.
right?
Out by Cosmo Publishing.
Cosmo,
And Amazon and January 2025.
2025, and you're going to have your own starring system.
This time I will have my own stars in it.
Yes, I'm sure they're going to pay more attention than your international starring system.
Oh, this is only for waiters.
Yeah, they're just
Only
waiters
for
in
waiters.
service.
Cooking is easy. Everybody cooks.
Uh-huh.
Serving properly is difficult.
Yes, the service. Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Would you like to add anything? Any
Well,
other?
one more restaurant I can add,
Uh-huh.
and that's in Sydney.
Sydney, Australia.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And this is in Sydney. There's no Michelin system, and there's so many high-rated restaurants.
Hmm.
But one restaurant I enjoy, and it's very difficult to get reservations, is the restaurant called Benelong. Benelong.
Hmm.
That's in the Sydney Opera House. The
Wow.
famous Sydney Opera House
Yes.
restaurant is called, yeah, Benelong. And one of
Yep.
those shelves
Uh-huh.
underneath only has Benelong. And its architecture is so well designed to be a restaurant. From that restaurant, you see the other shelves, the water and the bridge,
Awesome.
and the city. So it's such a strategically positioned shelf, which is closer to land,
Uh-huh.
and wherever you sit at the restaurant, you look one way, you see the water, the other way you see
Nice.
another shelf, the town, or the bridge, and it's got the thickest with the most number of entries wine list in the world.
Wow.
I mean,
Well,
two people usually carry the wine list to the table. One is a small lady cannot carry it on herself, so it's usually two men bring it. Okay, and they have the best wine list. Not multiples are reasonable. Usually, in such expensive restaurants, the wine multiples are around three and a half the wholesale
uh-huh.
price times the 3 or 3.5 times the wholesale price. But here it's more like 2.5 times. Very good selection, and very good selection to have by the glass.
Wow.
So
Okay.
sometimes you're two people, and one part of the one of the couple prefers white, and the other
Uh-huh.
couple prefers red, and you want to try a few wines, okay? Especially since you're in Australia, you want to try some Australian wines, okay?
Yes.
So with 3 courses, you want to have, let's say, 3 reds, and your companion may have 3 whites. This is only possible by wine by the glass. All the restaurants in the world have wine by the glass, but not high quality wines by the glass.
Yeah.
So this Benelong has this, and also great cooking style, great big menu, but difficult to make reservations. So ideal before you go to Australia, before you go to Sydney, at least one month before, with
Wow.
however nights you're going to spend there,
Uh-huh.
each night book something at the opera to see something at the opera. One
Uh-huh.
night opera, another night classical music, another night popular music at 8 p.m. They're always at 8 or 8:30 p.m.
Uh-huh.
And before that, for 5:30 or 6 p.m., before the opera, dinner reservation. So you go there 5, start drinking, eat a little bit tipsy, go to the opera. What else can you want?
Yes. Then they carry you back to your hotel.
Yeah, it's not far away. Yeah,
Yes. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. I want to thank you for all the information and knowledge that you shared.
yeah,
And again, we are anxious to see your next book, definitely. And I am actually anxious to see the stars, your stars, the
yeah,
servers, the waiters.
yeah. My book has competition, as you know, is my blog. All the book is in my blog.
Yes, but you need to register for your blog to be able to read. Is that right?
No,
No, you just
you
go
just
there
go
and
and read
okay,
free.
okay,
So
okay.
you don't have to pay Cosmo
No,
or Amazon
not
to
not
get the
not
book.
not pay, just register. Like enter your email or whatever.
No, no, no. You just go
No,
and
you
read.
just, yeah, okay, yeah,
You just
that's
go and it's
interesting.
free. We're helping the society.
Okay,
But those people who want to keep it in their pockets, which is
uh-huh,
easier,
yeah,
they buy from Cosmo Publishing.
yes, awesome, awesome. Okay,
Okay.
again, thank you very much. And I believe, what time is it there?
It's 11 p.m.
11 p.m. Okay,
Yeah.
what time is it here? It is 2 p.m. So,
Okay. All right.
yes, okay, awesome.
Bye bye.